We now have Google Docs set up at school, so what's next? For instance, how do I set up a process and system so students can share their work done in Google Apps for Education with me so that I can assess, provide feedback, and give students credit for their work done? This tutorial will explain how to set up teacher and student folders in Google Drive, as well as describe a process that will allow teachers and students to share documents. This tutorial assumes teachers are setting up the folders using a Mac or PC. Make sure you're logged into your school Google account and open the Drive page. First, you'll create a Google Teacher class folder that you can share with your class. You're going to need to use something easy to remember. Use a naming convention, the class period, and then a specific identifier for your class. For example, 1-ENG is period 1 English. Click the red New button in the upper left. Click Folder. Create the folder with the naming convention just described. In this case, 1-ENG. Create. Now we need to change the folder sharing. Open the folder or right-click it. I'm going to right-click. And I'm going to click Share. Here's the link for the folder. We'll need that in a minute. Right now it's set to private. Only you can access. We're going to change that. Click Change. Change it to Presentation High School. People at Presentation School can find and access. We'll also want to change the access for the students from Can View to Can Edit. Save this sharing. Next, we need to provide the class folder URL to the students via your class web page, an email, Canvas, and so on. To get that link to share, you have it right here. Just click on it, double click to grab the whole thing, copy the URL, and then we can say we are done with this page. Now I can take that URL and share it with the students via your class page, your calendar document, an email, and so on. Notice that the icon has changed. Now there's an image of a person inside 1-ENG. What that means is that is a shared folder. Students will now need to create a shared folder using a different naming convention. In their case, they're going to title it 1 for the class period dash last name first initial. I'm going to pretend I'm a student for a minute, and I'm going to go through the process of setting up a new folder using that naming convention. For example, 1-Johnson P. I'll create it. And now that I have that folder set up, I can move it, if I were the student, into your shared folder. To do so, I simply click and drag it to the appropriate home. It's going to ask if I want to share the folder. Moving this folder will share it with everyone who can see the shared folder 1-ENG. We're going to fix that in a minute. Here's a reminder of the naming conventions for folder creation. Again, for the teacher, it's the period and the class abbreviation. In the example, it was 1-ENG. For the student, it's their class period and then their last name first initial. So in the example, it's 1-Johnson P. Critically important for the students to get this part right, which will make your life much easier later on. So you really need to enforce. Again, students will drag their shared or their folder to your shared folder. In this example, my two students, Kyle and Adrian, have already dragged their folders to the class shared folder. We're going to do one more thing and then we're done. Once all the students have moved their folders to the shared teacher folder, in this case 1-ENG in the example, the teacher will open each student folder once and change the sharing from anyone at Pres can edit to specific people private. The end result will be that only the teacher and the student can view and edit documents in that folder. So I'm going to change this from Presentation High School can find and edit to specific people and save. Right now, this will mean that the student and you will be the only two people that will have access to this particular folder. If I was logged in as the student, that would show their name and my name on this sharing setting page. You only need to do that once. It's very important, so that way only students and teachers can view and edit documents in that folder. Students cannot see each other's work. There you have it, a few simple steps that only need to be done once for each class. Remember to have students drag their documents to the right folder, their own folder, and then it will be automatically shared to the teacher so you can comment, assess, and give credit to the students for their completed work. Students can also set up multiple folders inside their single student folder if it's desired. Okay? The folders inside the student folder will also have the same edit capability by the teacher and the student only, and no visibility to others. There is one last step. You're going to want to set the teacher class folder sharing back to anyone at Prez can find and view. So change this from edit to view only. Save, and you're done.